Hello and welcome to OROMIA11. Today we have a special segment on the City of Minneapolis Urban Scholar Internship Program. Joining me are two special guests, the City Coordinator for Urban Scholar Program and a former Urban Scholar. We will be discussing what the Urban Scholar Internship Program is, how you can apply, and hearing firsthand about the experience from a former participant. If you are a college student or recent graduate living in or around Minneapolis, this program is for you. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining us today. Could you please introduce yourself and also explain a little bit about your role at City of Minneapolis Urban Scholarship Internship Program, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Ryan Hess. I am a project coordinator at the City of Minneapolis for our Urban Scholars Program. Urban Scholars is a summer internship program that really focuses on leadership development and bringing sort of that next generation of public servants to the community, whether it's the City of Minneapolis or various public partners. It's just an incredible program we've had over 14 years now.
What kind of project or work do interns usually do though?
Well, the real focus is to give interns a chance to work on, real world problems and impactful projects. So, we've seen everything from, how do we focus on various like economic concerns and research to, we've had interns focus on like our district courts and the judicial system. So it really is quite far-reaching since it impacts really the whole of the Twin Cities overall. Everything from public policy to more economic concerns, you name it, it's probably a part of the program because we really want to have urban scholars embedded in the city all across departments, all across partners overall.
I see the application is open right now, which is also due March 17. Could you tell me what are the qualifications and also the application process and the selection process?
Yeah, absolutely. So applications are open right now. So we are hiring current college students. So if you're currently in undergrad, graduate school, law, we've got those 3 applications for those backgrounds, and educational backgrounds. Really what we're looking for with the application is to really give us a complete picture of a student's background. So, not just their resume, not just their transcript, but a chances to explain, their interest in public service, their commitment to their community. What are some of the experiences they've had in their academic journey, professional journey that can show the kind of unique perspectives that they can bring to the public sector and ultimately grow them into our next generation of leaders overall. As far as selection process and things of that nature, it's a pretty competitive process. We will be collecting applications through March 17th. Shortly thereafter, we'll be going through all the applications. Our selection committee will be evaluating everything holistically about the interns, and really shortly thereafter we'll be putting together interviews. From there, we're really looking forward to getting folks started in the program. It starts June 2nd and runs through mid-August, so it's high time to get applications in. We're looking forward to reviewing everyone's application and going from there.
After the review and interview, what's the next step?
So really we're going to be looking at their entire kind of profile, their interview performances, things like that, and really looking to get them involved and get them with a project that really makes sense for their background and overall allows them to contribute to the city in a meaningful way.
All right. right, that's amazing. What kind of training or professional development activity do you guys do?
Yeah, so Urban Scholars has a really unique structure in that, one day out of the week we really focus on professional development, and the other 4 days of the week the students really focus on their, tangible projects with their internship. So we all get together at the public service building. We're really focused on, how do we give students a chance to focus on their craft, focus on whether it's public speaking, whether it's how to, really have a voice in the community, really have, an impact on the work that they're doing. We really want to make sure they get reps, really see kind of how it is to have a voice, even as an intern, and make an impact in the community, so that they can really develop into, the leaders of the city and beyond from there.
How does the program support the transition of intern from full-time to employment, like from intern to full-time employment?
Well, there's a couple of ways, right? So the internship is really designed to give them exposure to the public sector across the Twin Cities. So one, I think there's the network component and the ability to connect with scholars, not only in their cohort, but also, the alumni of the program. The program's coming up on year 14, so it's really about connecting with scholars from the past and also our current city leadership and whatnot. So they're getting that exposure, they're networking, they're building out their community and resources that they can rely on when they're looking for full-time work. And really from there, it's about making sure they understand the city, understand our public partners, so that when they're applying for jobs and they're looking for full-time work, they know how the city works. They know how our public partners work, and that really gives them insight into how they can become a part of the city after the program.
What are the different public partners that the applicant can choose from? Yeah,
it varies every year. However, we've got some long-standing partnerships, whether it's Hennepin County, the state of Minnesota, 4 judicial district courts. So it really kind of ebbs and flows, but we really appreciate that it's not just the city, it's really about how do we build public service leadership across the region and really develop folks for taking the reins moving forward.
So other question I think they might be also wondering, is
Sure.
the internship paid?
Yes, absolutely. Of course we pay, yes. We really focus on making sure this is a paid opportunity. We want folks to, not just, have a tangible work experience and get real world experience on their projects, but we want to make sure that they're compensated for that. Their opportunity is valued, and it's something that we put a lot of investment in upfront.
How about the working hour? What do they look like?
Yeah, so it is a full-time internship. So we are looking for folks that are available, for the program's length over the summer. So, we're looking for that sort of 8:30 to 5 kind of time frame, 40 hours per week. So we do, look for full-time availability over the summer.
Are there any recommendation for writing a strong application or getting noticed in selection process?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to talk, to their experiences and their commitment to their community, or, their interest in the public sector, skill sets that they have. Since there's such a wide range of, projects that Urban Scholars support, it's really, incredible for us to understand where a scholar is at in their journey as far as, professional development and skill growth. And so we can understand kind of their background and what they bring to the table. So the more detail you can give us in the application on where you're at and the skills you have, the better.
All right, thank you, Ryan, for sharing such a valuable insight into the program. Now let's hear from former urban scholar who is now working for the city. Thank you for joining me today. Could you please introduce yourself?
Thank you for having me. My name is Jessica Stone, former urban scholar, and currently I am a senior project manager with the city of Minneapolis, and I've been there for about 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you share your personal experience as urban scholar, and also what initially motivated you to apply for Urban Scholars?
Yeah, of course. So I went to the U of M as an architecture major, and around my third year, I wanted to know what to do next. And so I was looking for internship opportunities, never thought about local government as one of those options, but applied to a few architecture firms and then saw this come up as an opportunity on a city website, and so applied. At the time, I thought that my degree would translate to one of the departments, housing, really looking at what was occurring with enforcement, and so went into the regulatory services department as an intern. It did not relate to my degree, but I was able to really get that experience for public service, and that's what kind of kept me here for 11 years so far.
That's a lot of years, yeah. How was your application process? Was it difficult?
Yeah, so I was one of the second groups of people to go through the program, so very early on. But the process, I remember it being super competitive. So I think at the time it was a few hundred people that applied and less than 50 people got in. And so it was really showcasing my resume, trying to figure out, what I could talk about. I've grown up in the city of Minneapolis. I've made it, my community's here. I'm really invested in what's happening in the city. So really trying to show that through the interview process, which was one of my first formal interviews. The process was great. I met a lot of really great people. And of course it was difficult, but getting through it was amazing. I'm trying to remember back to those days. I just remember sitting, waiting for people to call me back. But yeah, it was a great process, and everyone was really helpful throughout it to try to get me to follow the next steps.
When I applied last year, there was, I expected one person to interview me, but there was two. I was like, okay, how many people interviewed you for your?
Yeah, it was at least two. It was multiple people, which is a little bit jarring for sure, especially being your first formal interview. My previous experiences had been in, like retail or something that wasn't quite career, like
that professional.
In my professional career, right? It was more about like odd jobs. So it was multiple people, but it was more of a conversation with the structured questions in it, so it made me feel a little bit more comfortable.
That's good. How did your time in the program shape your career path, and what specific skills or lesson did you take from it?
Yeah, the program really helped me kind of get into figuring out what a mentor was and identifying people that could help me in my journey. At the city, I will say everyone's very welcoming, and as a younger person coming in, people really wanted to show me what their work was about, or get me to get interested in some of the topics. So I really was able to meet a lot of great mentors throughout my time at the city, and specifically that first year that I was, or the first internship was 3 months. We can talk more about that, but I was an undergraduate intern after that. I was kind of able to stay on at the city past the Urban Scholar program and continue to meet people there. I learned public speaking, how to make presentations, how to write reports, how to analyze data, things that I had not had any experience in before, but was able to learn as I did projects.
It's basically like a school. Yeah, but you technical, like you learn.
Yeah, very hands-on schooling.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
What was one memorable or impactful project you worked on during your time?
Yeah, my main project was analyzing all the vacant buildings, or the vacant houses that were in the city of Minneapolis, why they were vacant, what we could do to get them occupied again, or maybe sold to someone who wanted to own or occupy a property. And so that was a really eye-opening project. I didn't realize how many properties were just sitting vacant in our city. And I actually started working with that group as a permanent, like an administrative staff person, and got to learn a lot about why properties get condemned and the process, and maybe how people don't know how to navigate that process. So for me, it was impactful for various reasons. The main reason being vacant buildings, need to be occupied, especially in the housing shortage that we have now. But the other thing was I wanted to help people, and I realized that through that process. I like to say a lot early days, I didn't have a passion for anything. So I went to architecture, I wanted to try that, and then that didn't really catch my interest. But when I came to the city, I found that I wanted to work for my community and be a public servant. That sounds a little bit,
No,
but it really is what I want to do and what kept me here so long.
How did the mentorship aspect help you grow professionally?
Yeah, I think really learning from people that have had those tough experiences either in their career or didn't know how to navigate something, especially as a woman of color, right? I'm Ecuadorian. I try to look for other women, and if I could, right, other women of color, other people of color within the city that could really help me navigate some of the, feeling like I had to do more just because I had to do more. And that wasn't always the case, right? It was more about how do we leverage the things that we have. So really learning kind of how to get that guidance throughout my career, how to be a little bit more maybe picky on like the things that I wanted to do and not just kind of take the next position, but what did I want to do in my career and really shape like the why behind why I do what I do. And so it's what mentors really provided me on top of the skills. Speaking, presentations, going in front of council, which is, something that you can't learn anywhere except by doing. But it's better when you're guided by people who have done it a lot and can give you a lot of great tips.
Looking back, what advice would you give to someone who is considering applying for Urban Scholars?
Yeah, I would say if you're considering it, just do it. Go ahead and apply. I think it's a great opportunity to just even start looking at a resume, start building up kind of how you're going to be showing yourself to other potential opportunities. So, for example, if it doesn't work out with Urban Scholars, you have what you need to continue putting yourself out there. Urban Scholars as a whole is a great program for meeting people, networking, getting kind of your foot in the door with the city. But if you're not sure what public service is, try it out. I think, some people that I've seen go through the program are still with the city as well. I'm not the only one, but some of my, yeah, we got many, and I made great friends. People there, you meet once a week, but we went out after hours. We went to restaurants. I just got invited to somebody's wedding recently from the Urban Scholar program that I was in, right? And so you make these great lifelong friendships too. So it's not just about like getting there and working, it's also about meeting people and hopefully some nice relationships that flourish into lifelong friendships.
Creating network connections.
Yeah, for sure.
What is one thing that you wish people know about Urban Scholars?
Oh, great question. I wish they knew just how great people kind of perceive anyone or the program itself, right? It's such a great quality experience. It's not just an internship where you're going in and filing paperwork or going in and not doing something that's building your skill set. It actually is building you up. I will say this internship taught me a lot about relationship building and the skills that I currently have, and made me feel like I could do what I wanted to, whatever I set myself out to do. I've done other programs where it's been, okay, well, now we have an intern, just give them whatever you want, and that you come in with a project that's meaningful and that adds value to the city of Minneapolis.
That is really great. Okay, lastly, if you could describe an Urban Scholars internship program in one word, what would it be?
Impactful.
Wow. Could you elaborate that a little bit?
Yeah, I think if I didn't do this Urban Scholar program, I don't know what my career would have turned into, but just the impact that it had on me as a person and why I stuck with the program and stuck with the government and specifically the city I live in was because of all the great foundational lessons I learned. And that did make, like, as a younger person coming out of college, right, you want to go where you think you can grow and where you're valued. And that was super impactful for my experience.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I have learned a lot from you. Yeah, hopefully the applicants also be motivated, and also you have shared a lot of insightful, especially how connecting with others and how you meet people. So make sure to go apply right now. And it's also, can you also talk about the deadline? It's due March 17th. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead and apply by March 17th. The website's live now. Make sure to include all the documentation that they ask for. And yeah, I really encourage everyone to take that chance. If they're just considering it, again, do it. There's no what ifs later. You know you've done it. Yeah. And then hopefully I can see you around the city and you can work for, I think, a great local government.
Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
That is all for today's segment on City of Minneapolis Urban Scholar Program. A big thank you to our guests for sharing their insights and experiences. If you are a college student or recent graduate in the city of Minneapolis area, don't miss this opportunity. Remember, the application deadline is March 17. For more detail and to apply, visit the City of Minneapolis website. Thank you for tuning in to OROMIA11. Until next time, take care and stay inspired.